On today's episode, we're marking a major milestone, 90 years of Social Security, a program that has shaped the lives of millions and continues to be a lifeline for caregivers and older adults across Washington state. To explore its impact, I'm joined by Kirk Larson, Public Affairs Specialist with the Social Security Administration here in Washington state, and Sue Luke from West Seattle, who after a lifetime of work, now relies on Social Security for 100% of her income. Both Kirk and Sue spoke at our recent celebration of the 90th anniversary. After our event, I sat down with them for a deeper discussion of what Social Security means today. Here's our conversation. Well, welcome. Thanks, Sue. Thanks, Kirk, for joining us. We've just come off of a great 90th anniversary of Social Security event. It was a lot of fun. There was cake, lots of people. We had Senator Cantwell here and Representative Jayapal. So it was a lovely time to talk with folks. But for folks who haven't heard your story, Sue, will you tell a little bit about your story?
Sure. So right out of college, I went to work for the federal government, and I worked for 19 and a half years. I moved a lot of places because in order to get promotions, I would have to move around. And so after that, and when you're working for the federal government, at least at that time, you didn't pay into Social Security. So when I left, I didn't realize that I would totally lose my retirement. But of course, I found that out too late. Anyway, so I went to work for corporate America here in Seattle mostly. And so I was able to earn enough to now being collecting Social Security. It's really not much at all, but it's enough that I can afford to live here in my HUD building. So.
And Kirk, you're with the Social Security Administration. You must hear stories like this often.
Quite often. And Social Security for many people is a lifeline. It does make a huge difference in people's lives. While the program was really designed to be a basic support, a foundation, for many people it represents about a 40% of what their retirement income is. For many people, it's all the money that they have to live on. I think it's about 1 out of 3 people receiving Social Security depend on Social Security for about 90 to 95% of their income. So critically important program for lifting people out of poverty. So it's something very important to all of us. And even if it's not representing all of your retirement, for many people it represents a huge chunk. So being able to have this, I think really does reflect on looking at this, 90th anniversary of Social Security and looking at Roosevelt's different plans that he brought into effect. This is probably one that has the longest legacy and has had the greatest impact on our nation of all the different legislation that was passed back there in the 1935. So very important program for everybody, and it's very important for our nation collectively.
It really has left it really is a legacy, right? I know, Kirk, you and I both have children, so I don't know if
I have a grandchild.
You have a grandchild.
Yes.
Right, and this is really important because I don't think younger generations necessarily know so much about Social Security, but the importance it has played in the welfare of so many, right? But really interested in making sure that it continues for the next 90 years plus, right?
Yes,
exactly.
Definitely.
Yeah. And it's really developed over time. Most people, when you think of Social Security today, you think of retirement, and that's originally what it started out to be, but also important to remember that Social Security has expanded over time. 1935 started out as a retirement program, but 1939, survivor and spouses benefits were added. 1956, once again, the Congress saw an important need and they added disability benefits. 1965, they added Medicare benefits. And then finally, 1972, they added another safety net program called SSI, or Supplemental Security Income. And collectively, what they've done for millions and millions of Americans is to give them that important lifeline. Whether it's you're reaching retirement, or you've become disabled, or you've lost a loved one, what it represents to so many people. They have similar stories to that, what you have, and other stories about how it's made a huge and lifelong change in their lives.
Yeah, I have people in my building too who are on Medicaid or the disabled people. And so, they're really dependent as well on Social Security. So
I don't think people realize exactly how hard it is just to survive these days with rising costs, right? But one of the things that is important also is, in fact, the cost of living adjustment that happens.
I was really happy to hear Senator Cantwell talk about, the increases, annual increases that should be happening with the cost of living, and saying that there should be a senior box or amounts that, goes into the basket. I guess right now it's just this general basket of things that you need. And she's thinking that it should be more than that.
Yeah. And, we do actually, one of the things I think people forget is that we both have the Social Security Trust Fund, but we also have, there's 169 million workers who are continuously contributing right now to Social Security, to the Social Security Fund.
And it's important to remember, a lot of people will say, Social Security, I'm 25, so what does Social Security mean to me? Well, it means a lot if you're 25. Not only are you preparing for retirement, but you're also paying into a disability program. So if, God forbid, something should happen, you get in an accident, you can no longer work, the program would be there for you. Or if you have a family, you're paying into a survivors program. So if one of you pass away and you have minor or disabled children, those children can collect benefits off your record. So it's really not just a retirement program. It's really something that's there to protect you and protect your family throughout your life and beyond. So it represents so much more to people. And you're right. Unfortunately, we as a people, we kind of take it for granted that it's there, and we really don't think about it. And we just think that it's a retirement program. It's much more than that.
Well, we focus a lot on caregiving at AARP, and one of the things that we know is that frequently today we have people who are in that sandwich generation. So they're not only caring for their children, but they're caring for their older loved ones. And I know, like my parents want to remain independent as long as possible, and Social Security helps them do that.
Yeah, that's true. My mother also wanted to remain independent, and she was very fortunate, to be able to do that. And Social Security was one of the big helps in her life.
So, Sue, this is an opportunity for you and me to ask Kirk any other of these pressing questions. But, Kirk, let me just start off by asking you, because this is what I think I hear from many people, that they think that Social Security is going broke. Mm-hmm. Is it?
Social Security faces some challenges in the future. Under our worst case scenarios, we're probably looking at potentially a cut in the future, somewhere around 2033, 2034. But even under our worst case scenarios, you're looking at maybe a 20% cut to benefits. So not going broke, but we do face these challenges. It's not a good situation if somebody owes you $100 and comes to you and says, I can give you $80. That's not going to make you happy. But we're definitely not going broke. But we do face this challenge in the future that we need to rise to. We need to make sure that our voices are heard, because it's up to Congress to make adjustments to the program to ensure that Social Security will remain strong into the future. What those changes will look like, what Congress will ultimately do, is up to Congress. But we as a people need to make our voices heard to say this is the direction we think we should go. Will everybody get everything they want? Probably not. Whatever it comes down to, there'll probably be a combination of different fixes that may allow the program to move forward. Will it look like it looks like today? Hard to say. Once again, Congress needs to make its input. They need to change the program and figure out, are there going to be cuts? Are there going to be tax increases to bring more money in? How is this going to be done? So something that we need to pay attention to, and as time moves forward, that we make our voices heard and what we want to have done.
But Sue, I want to turn to you because, some people might say, oh, 20%. That's not so much. But Sue, tell us, 20%, what would that mean for you?
That would mean I'd be on the street.
Yeah.
For me. And that's just horrific.
Well, I just want to say I'm so happy that the both of you have joined us today to help celebrate the 90th anniversary, because it means a lot. This is a legacy and a promise that has been made to American workers, obviously since 1935, and it's one we think that really needs to continue. What would you tell younger folks today who may not really understand the importance, like your grandchild or your children, certainly my daughter?
Well, I'd certainly tell my granddaughter that that if it wasn't for Social Security, I wouldn't be living where I'm living, and that I couldn't have the lifestyle that I have right now, which is not certainly luxurious, but it's definitely okay, and I'm surviving.
I'd say two things. Number one, count on Social Security being there in the future. It's too important of a program to go away. There will be some changes in the future, but it's too important of a program to go away. But number two, realize that Social Security is a strong foundation, but in order to have a really successful retirement, you have to work on it, and you have to start putting money away sooner rather than later. And if you can do as little as $100 a paycheck, if you do that over 30, 40 years, that can make a huge difference when you reach retirement. And Social Security can be that solid foundation that you can build your retirement future on.
Yeah, so thinking ahead, well, I want to thank you both again.
Thank you.
Thank you.